do that, you know
All right,
better than
green
that.
lights on today's, January the 8th, 2024. This is Caucus, very informal get-together where we go down the agenda items. Hopefully people can get questions answered. We've got 5, 6, 7 people in attendance. As soon as Commissioner Joe Mike Hodge gets back in here. So the first thing, I call myself the moderator of caucuses. It's January, New Year. Is there a nomination for moderator for calendar year 2024? We need to do that. They choose somebody.
I got a question. Is this gonna be considered rural, or is this gonna be caucus?
We can make it anything we want to.
Since none of the other caucuses show up.
That's crazy, and a lot of people should.
Yep.
Nominate somebody for moderator.
For moderator,
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Dennis Hunt for moderator of the Rural Caucus.
I second that nomination.
Anybody else want to throw a name on the floor?
Don't have a pen.
You don't want
I don't have a pen.
opinion? Okay. This will be the only thing where we actually vote on. So, all those in favor of the nominee Dennis Hunt as moderator, by aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Thank you, guys.
Is there gonna be anybody, in case you're not here? Second in charge.
Yeah, we can do that.
We did in the past, didn't we?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
know
let's
that.
do, what we would call vice moderator.
I'll nominate Terry.
Oh, I don't need to be out of the same district, does it?
I'll nominate
I
Joe.
don't think that would matter.
I don't know that it matters. When we did caucuses, it was gonna be, might as well be the same as districts.
What was your nomination, Tim? Let's move on.
Joe Mike.
Joe Mike, okay. I'll second that. All those in favor of Joe Mike as vice moderator, by aye.
Aye.
Okay.
It sounded
All
like,
right, that's
That's what you get.
sounded like Terry didn't want
Hey,
it.
go back out that door there if you we'll nominate you for something else.
Main thing, hopefully, there's enough committee members here that anything that comes up as we're going down the agenda, that the committees that address these business items can, answer questions. The number 6, public comments, I'm thinking probably every one of you got some sort of feedback from constituents regarding this. I would like to say that public comments has always been restricted to agenda items. The only difference is this month, they actually put the text on there that it must be a Coffee County resident, comments must be relevant.
That's
to
the part
agenda
I've been
item.
getting hit over.
Yeah,
As far as the agenda items, that's pretty well what they're coming to talk about anyway.
correct. And just so everyone knows, in our last 2 meetings, September and November, our chairman departed from that and allowed public comment on items that had been removed from the agenda. So that's sort of what has created the confusion. And if you guys remember, in September, I made a point of order that agenda items should not be discussed, and I was promptly overruled by the chair, so we kept going. And,
Yeah.
so, that sort of that set the tone for the confusion, I think. But I want everybody to understand, that has been our policy forever, that it should be, and it's actually in TCA. In your TCA public, 300, whatever that is, about regarding public comment. Now, here's what individuals feel like if there's an individual, if you have a constituent that has some subject that they feel is so important to them that we need to address it in the future, they've got tree frogs dying on their creek or something, you know, we don't deal with it, but they want to talk about it. We can't allow stuff like that just to keep making the meeting longer and longer and longer. So that's why this rule is in place. But during the month, at any point between meetings, you have a constituent say, we got this issue, and they come to you individually. You, any one of us, 18 commissioners, have the right to invite a speaker from the floor. At any time in the meeting, we can invite an individual that's in the audience. Try to choose an appropriate time, not in the middle of something else. Maybe at public comments, you could finish up, say, I have a guest in the audience that would like to speak, and that is entirely appropriate. That would allow an individual to speak on a subject that is not on the agenda, but it is of, you feel like as a commissioner, it's of great importance, so we need to allow them to speak to it, and that's how you accomplish that.
Do we still have to follow the guidelines of acknowledging this before the meeting and putting it on the agenda? I mean, on the sign-up sheet?
No. Historically, I'll say this, no.
Okay.
We have just something to pop up, and I've seen individuals be invited up to the podium to speak to a subject that's not on the agenda, but it's happened many times. So I think maybe if you know ahead of time, it wouldn't hurt to put during the agenda approval process that you might mention, say at the end of the meeting during, what is it? It's called comments and statements, that you have an individual in the audience you would like to recognize to speak to something. That's probably the best way of doing it, if you know that's gonna happen. I mean, some of us, we're all sitting there with cell phones. Some of us may get a text message from somebody sitting in the audience, you know. If it's really important, you know, we gotta take care of the people that elected us, and that's why we're here. So if, like I said, individuals that wanna speak to something not on the agenda, that's how you would handle it. Just
Is it gonna be
recognize
done at the time of the statement and announcement?
That would
Or
be the
just-
best time.
Yeah, okay.
If it's totally irrelevant to anything on the agenda, even by indirect, you know, I can think many cases, and I don't think anybody's gonna object to it. We just gotta control the length of our meetings, and that's why it's on there. So, anybody got any questions or comments regarding that?
Who is supposed to monitor the time?
That's a good question. The chairman
Parliamentarian.
should take care of
The
it.
parliamentarian's supposed to be doing that, or Sam will be doing that.
I think the chair controls the meetings. It would be up to the chair at the time. Parliamentarian's just there to ask technical questions, just like our attorney.
Yeah, but he's there to proceed, to make sure the proceedings are
No,
moving according to plan.
no, not unless he's asked. He never, if you've noticed, Mr. Pettigo very rarely interrupts. I mean, I've been here 9 years, going on 10. He very rarely, unless he sees a gross mistake being taken. I can promise you, I've watched and sat through many parliamentary errors, many, and he never says a word. I bet you he goes home every night with his tongue bleeding from biting his mouth because he watches this stuff happen. But if it's a real gross thing that would affect the actual legalities of our actions or something, he will interrupt. But Joe's real good about not acting unless he's asked to. That's my experience from the 9 years I've been here. Any other comments on this? All right, so the number 8, those things are pretty much routine, the memorial, civic proclamations, and commendation. The elections, appointments, confirmations, committee, that's probably gonna be a biggie. Y'all wanna pick this up and talk about it? Commission District 2, that is Claude Morris's seat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to comment on that?
Are these the only two that are allowed for nomination? Or can they be nominated from the floor?
That's a good question. Since they're listed in writing on our agenda, I don't know that you could prevent a nomination from the floor. That would be a good question for Joe Pettigo. See, that would be one of those things where he would weigh in on that.
I think probably it's no different than any motion you can make.
You can make
Probably
it,
As a
they
commissioner.
can make it on the floor, can't you?
Yeah, I think so, any motion,
Probably. I'd say any name could be thrown out, but I'm not.
any subject can be.
This, I know it gets
Made a
sticky on the
motion.
way we do it and the way we vote and the voting process. We've had to go through it 2 or 3 times and it's always, confusing to everybody. But, Tim, you brought up something earlier
Go ahead and
about
tell the
this.
rest of them how you felt about it.
I think they ought to put it off to election time and let their district elect the person to take the seat.
Well, because it's so close to the,
And because it's so close, it's only,
Yeah, that's it.
That would be May, right? Isn't that when our
no,
primary
it's
is?
in March, March
March.
fifth.
March
Yes.
primary, ain't it?
March fifth, I
Yes.
believe.
I just wonder,
Do
can
they get in
that
time?
be put, can they qualify and get on the ballot in that shorter period?
probably not because the deadline's passed.
Well, have both of these people turned in their, petitions?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
But
have.
They
I
have.
It's in our
think
packet.
if you actually
back.
put one of these people in, you still have to go through the election process
At the first election.
at the first
So
election.
why
If
would
they-
you?
So why bother?
If they've done their packets, and I don't see why we can't wait.
And since they're gonna have to do that anyway, the
Right.
election commission or somebody
Right.
is gonna have to do it anyway. Cause you can't just nominate these people and till the next election comes on, they're not gonna stay.
Well, whichever one got elected or appointed may get beat in the election, then they'll have to swap
It could
seats
be
in 2
anybody.
meetings, so it don't make any sense.
It could
Well,
be anybody.
probably if no one had turned in, their petition to run for the primary, then this would be a
Right.
serious thing, wouldn't it?
Right.
And
That
if it-
means
if
they
it-
would be in that seat until the
Next
next
election.
election, which is November, or is there one in August?
I think there's one in
The
August.
general
August.
election
August.
definitely in November, right?
In August, I think.
Yes, yes it is.
So is the, primary May fifth, or is that the?
It's March fifth.
I mean, March fifth, is that the primary, is that?
Uh-huh. It's just less than 8 weeks away.
I don't know. I really thought that,
I know they have 60 days, supposed to have 60 days to appoint someone to that seat. So I
That's
don't-
supposedly
Right,
the law.
yes,
It doesn't always happen.
right, unless there is an election close, but I think it's a little, that may be the reason, I don't
Past
know.
the 60 days.
And this is gonna be the temporary, if we did one of the, it would be for the temporary position, right?
Until the next
until the
election.
next
Next election.
And if it
election.
turns out that they can't get them on the ballot, it might be till November.
Right.
I don't know how it's gonna go.
Which definitely means we need, hopefully, I'm sure Andy Farrer will be there tomorrow to answer the technical questions regarding this. He's generally in the audience anyway, so this is just one of them things that's definitely above my pay grade, you know, the election process.
Unless we do it like we did last time.
If we're locked up, I mean,
Didn't have enough votes to
it's possibility
anybody.
that it could be,
It's automatic. You have to get
it could be
going.
postponed. It takes 10. It takes 10 to approve.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Does anybody got anything else they wanna say about that? We got unfinished business, item 10, we got the animal shelter update. I don't think there'll be a whole lot about that, except that we have chosen the architect. We did have the groundbreaking ceremony. And the health department construction status, I haven't heard anything on that. I'm sure Scott St. John is working on it. And, but he has not been to capital outlay. Maybe the mayor himself has something to say about it.
I wanna say
Go ahead.
something. I was told that, they have, that one of them has to be, somebody has to be appointed for that one by law, but they will be on the March ballot. That's what they said, so
That
Yeah.
one person,
they both will be on there.
they'll both be on there.
We just have to appoint because you have to appoint somebody within the 60 days. So by law, I think we have to appoint somebody to that seat, but they both will be on the March
All right,
ballot.
so you're told that both seats, Holly Jones' seat,
No, just Claude's,
just Claude's.
is what I was told.
Well, see, I thought Holly Jones' seat is the one that was going to be in the next election.
It is. It will,
That will, but that's not the one that's
It's not
talking
an
about
appointment.
appointment. We got
Yeah, I understand that.
the appointment, but
There will be 2 county commissioners chosen in the March election. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
right,
different
yes,
county
yes, yeah,
commissioners will
one
be
for
chosen.
Holly's seat and
Okay.
and the
So
other.
evidently,
But you have to
somebody's
just,
gonna run for Holly's seat,
yes, they
Correct.
are.
so it looks like you could get the same people, whoever wants to, for the other seat.
The different
Yeah,
districts.
Not
Different
just two
district.
people.
Different districts.
2 different
Well, I know
districts,
that.
right?
But I mean, it could be anybody in that district.
True. Yeah, they
Could-
have to
could
qualify by living in the district. And Holly can't run
Right.
because of technicality, she can't run again.
Right.
So no one's talked to Andy Farrett to find out what the situation really is.
The only reason, I mean, they're not appointing for her seat is because her seat's not vacated.
Right.
That's the only reason.
It's not vacated,
Right.
that's right. But what I'm thinking is, if they're gonna have to put somebody in the, ballot, it ought to be open for the other seat too.
I think it is, that's what she
It-
just said.
But
It
it's
is.
sounding like there's only gonna be 2 people, eligible.
No,
That's not what I've.
no, no.
Just for
Okay.
Claude's seat.
They're just, this is just for an appointment because by law we have to appoint somebody
I
to that seat.
understand that.
But,
But I thought you said
No.
those same 2 people are gonna be on the
well,
ballot
if they, yeah,
regardless.
yeah, well, if they want to run, yes,
They're gonna run against one another,
right.
Because they both got petitions signed.
because they're both
To
from
run.
So
one
they
district.
both signed petitions.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Nobody
this
else
is-
has, as far
this
as we know.
Probably gonna have this very same conversation all over again tomorrow night, so let's just
Okay,
move on.
all right,
Well,
all right.
The,
Holly might not be on the ballot either then. I mean,
She's-
that position might not.
Yeah, she's not
Well,
on.
we may have to turn right around and,
Her mother's gonna be on it.
No, that is
She the
going to
only one?
happen.
So
Dwight.
far, she's
Dwight, that is
unopposed.
going
but
to
she's
yes.
already run for a
That is
petition.
going to happen.
Yes.
Everybody knows she can't run, that's been,
I knew
that's
that.
old
Yes.
news.
I knew that, but I didn't know what
So
she'd got in the
people have
petition.
picked up their petitions and their papers, and they have qualified, there will be candidates for that position in March.
More than one?
I don't
Only
know the
one,
answer to that.
only one.
I
That's
don't
what I
know
was
the answer to that. It doesn't matter as long as there's one, at least one.
There's only one.
All right, moving on. We were at 10C, discuss serving county's rural residents water service update. So I'm not sure what committee's on that. I know it's not capital outlay. I don't know if
That's
there's.
the mayor,
welfare
that's the mayor
we're
and
talking
and
about.
Tim.
Who?
Mayor and Tim Morris, and
Okay.
who else is on that?
I'm on the HWR
I started to
also.
say, all of us that are on health and welfare.
Yeah.
But we hadn't gotten through health and welfare, has not decided anything, because we were still getting information from the mayor and Tim to finish discussing it. And I'm hoping it's not gonna be
There may
somebody
be
make a
nothing.
motion or
I
whatever.
think that item's been on there for 6 months.
Yeah, we've been talking about
He might
it.
not have anything to say about it. There may not be.
Because
any
there's
other-
been absolutely nothing been done. We ain't had a meeting, we ain't done nothing.
Good,
Because the
It's good to
city,
know that
the city
yeah.
sat on their hind end and didn't set up the meetings or nothing, because I don't think they wanna go through with this.
Right.
So then we've not had a meeting for almost a year.
Well,
I
I'm thinking the city ain't gonna have a whole lot to do with
No,
it.
we've-
No, it's gonna be
we-
Hillsville, West Warren,
It is.
or War Trace. Those are the 3 water utility districts that serve all of rural Coffee County right now, anyway.
But they were involved in the planning of the,
Okay.
But
the-
now they're out. We voted them out, so now it's just gonna be the county
Oh.
only.
Well, we did determine from our meetings that there are no extra inventory of pipes, right? That was a point of discussion. Does the county still have, water pipes that can be used? And they asked for inventory, and Hillsville and whoever had the inventory came back with, they've used it all.
There is none.
So there is none. So that was a good question.
For the rest of you, of course, I worked at Tullahoma Utilities for 24 years, and I was in contracting for 20 years before that, doing water and sewer and things. My position has been at Health and Welfare. I don't know that the county taxpayers ought to be paying for water lines that are gonna be sold, the revenue to these utility districts. If you, in my opinion, if you give money, and we did that with the tanks and things like that, as a utility, we always had to go get bonds. And you retire those bonds by revenue. It's never come out of taxes, so my opinion has always been the people that are gonna benefit and get that, water and pay that, monthly bill will retire those bonds. As a taxpayer, that's not even part of it, as far as I'm concerned. If you go ahead and put a bunch of money in getting water to rural residents, which sounds like a wonderful thing, the revenue generated will come from one of those utility districts and get all the money. But those people that are getting that water are gonna be charged the same amount as if it had never happened. If you paid for the whole project,
Yeah, nothing
the
comes back to the county.
utility district is gonna turn right around and send a bill to those county customers, who are not customers, actually, they're utility district customers. They're gonna send them a bill, and they're gonna start receiving revenue for something they didn't have any cost in.
Well, let's hope we don't vote for the county to spend taxpayer money on that then.
Well, that's what it's
Well,
heading.
hopefully you'll speak up
Or when
and,
they
I'm
bought,
trying to tell all of you
Yeah.
beforehand.
thank you.
Be thinking about this,
they bought
because
that
that's,
pipe before, didn't
that's-
the county?
yes, that's
Didn't the
exactly
county do
what's
that
gonna
before?
happen.
Yes,
They did.
we've set precedent by, we had with Hillsville for sure, we've had a working relationship with them where we would buy the materials. They would do all the digging and installing and all of that.
And they got the revenue
We've
back off
also
of it.
done the same thing with Manchester Water,
Yeah,
Well, I can tell,
because they extended their services out because the other utility districts didn't want to. So Manchester Water did it, and they received that revenue from then on from doing that. And if they get half of the cost, because we provide all the material and they provide the labor, they're gonna charge 100% for that water. So that's what I'm against.
I'm against that too.
Well, it benefits, the benefits to the individuals that don't have potable water at their homes because of wells or all of that. I don't feel like it's no different than the tax dollars I pay for the school system, and I don't have a kid in there.
I don't disagree with that necessarily.
I don't feel it's any different, but, because it helps.
But
in
by law,
fire
you don't have any
protection,
choice.
Fire protection, it can help reduce the residents' insurance and all of that, but I would just have to look at the total project cost.
Well, let's look at another
PVC
thing.
pipe is not that expensive.
Let's look at another thing. I've got a property, in the county that's being served by a utility district. It's got a fire hydrant and all that. I've had to pay for all that. And as a rural, taxpayer, you're basically gonna make me pay something again for somebody else over here. I've already had to pay for mine.
I think you're gonna find a lot of examples of that.
You will.
That's
That's
just,
what I'm saying.
that's government. But I don't think we're voting on any water pipe installation.
I just wanted everybody to be
tomorrow night.
thinking about it, cause
Yeah,
it's gonna come up.
It's a good point. Moving right along to 10D, strategic planning report. I don't even know why that's on there. We've already adopted the strategic plan as presented by that commission, so that's a non-item. New business personnel manual approvals, there's none. The budget calendar, fiscal year 2025 budget calendar. I guess
We do that every year.
we gotta approve when we start working on it and all
Yes.
that, right?
That's it, and how it gets finished. When it gets finished, not how.
Right. So then contract with Pitney Bowes.
Does anybody know anything about that?
I don't.
I don't either.
I'm assuming that's 11C. 11C.
I see it right here. I don't-
11C.
I thought this
That
was
has
just a
to do
renewal
with
of what was
postage.
already there.
Sir,
It was all, I think the service was already there, and this is just a renewal of it.
you're probably correct, Joe Knight. It's, monthly is $376.96, billed quarterly at $1,130.88.
Yeah, I see it's how it's listed, but it didn't tell me whether that's a new contract or just what.
Well, it would be a new contract if we're having to approve it. It'd have to be a new contract if we're approving it. We wouldn't be
Well,
approving an old
I'm
contract.
saying apparently there is no lease agreement right now from anybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I think there's that service, I don't remember exactly, but I think there is that service already. This is just a new contract for that service.
This takes care of all our mailing and postage and all that, the way I understood it.
And the machines and all that.
Does anybody know how much postage we actually do as a county? I know that at my place that I work, we rarely mail anything anymore.
I think
It's
so.
all emailed.
And
I
we
think it's
we
quite a bit.
canceled the contract with Pitney Bowes because
That's
it
why I'm
was-
asking.
Yeah. Does anybody know that?
Well, look at all the services provided. There's, interface weighing feature, mail center meter, Costa County.
So maybe we need to put it on
Sempro Connect,
till we,
I know
mail
several,
center printer, weighing platform. A lot of stuff in there.
several of the county buildings have like
Web.
machine
Web browser.
where,
Well-
and they do, and if you look on each individual county office's, budget, there is a place in there for, postage. It has it, but they,
Did this not go through some kind of committee?
I don't remember
Budget
seeing
and
this.
finance.
I haven't seen it,
Is there anyone here
me.
that
I'm
can
here.
remember it?
I'm here.
I've
I
not
don't remember.
heard of it or seen it.
Well, my point was, how much do, you know,
Yeah.
if it's
I'd like
like,
to
and
know,
I
too.
work for a corporation, we do not mail out hardly anything anymore. We went for a couple of years and said, why are we paying for this? So now we just buy stamps.
I know that,
We used to
Marcus
get
Sony's
these
office
mailed.
mails out a lot of
We don't
tax.
anymore.
Registration, tags place.
Good point.
Yeah,
The what,
I'm assuming they've
The
cut.
tags, they send a card to you when your tags are due.
in your property taxes? Don't you get
The
a
tax-
notice?
County do that or the
yeah,
state?
state Marcus
State
Sony.
does that.
County does that.
County, on your taxes,
I don't know,
On
I
your
never got
taxes.
one.
county
I think
taxes,
it's
you
the
get.
state.
I
I'd
always
have to
go and
look on
pay
the
mine
envelope
before
and
they
see.
send them.
I think it came out of the county.
And when I go in and ask, I've got an expired tag and I didn't receive a notice, I got the impression that it's because the state didn't get it sent.
Oh, he's talking about, we're talking about our taxes. He's talking about license tag.
Oh, licensing. Yeah, I get a notice in the mail about my tags.
From the state.
I'd have to go look.
I think it's.
All right, guys, we got a
Move
meeting
on.
at 6
Yep.
o'clock. People have to be too,
Gotta
so
move
let's not
on.
spend too much time on
Yep.
stuff we're not really acting on.
Maybe someone can answer that tomorrow night.
It'll be answered, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's opportunity to ask that question.
Mariana will fill us in on that.
You hate to have to ask a
Grants are
question on
none,
everything.
notaries, we got several notaries, that's always, elementary thing that we just run right through. Purchasing resolutions, I don't know, all of these have already went through budget and finance, and with approval, or they wouldn't be here, right?
Right.
So, the
Sure they-
county road list, that's one thing that,
Yeah.
we get, I don't understand why I'm chairman of Rural Roads and
Well, I
Bridges.
wanna
and
back
nobody-
up.
Nobody brought that to my attention, and Benton Bartlett's office really ought to send that to us and remind us that that needs to be done in January. So my opinion is this is gonna be voted on without committee, recommendation. Because Benton, if Benton and the highway department had issues with anything on the roads list, he would have brought it to our attention, and say, y'all need to address this.
Well, I think that's something that's required of all counties, is they, once a year, have a report. And then the commission will close the roads if they're not necessary or something
Yeah.
like that. But this is an annual report, I believe.
Yeah, we have to approve, for his funding, we have to approve the roads list. You know, it's something we gotta do in January, so Benton gets his money. That's the way I understand it, so our highway department gets it. So I think we'll just approve that and move. If there were any deletions or closures, whatever, Rural Roads and Bridges would have been, asked to convene and act on that, and we were not. So that's,
Well, this report was produced back the 30th day of November, so it's been submitted for a while.
correct.
I wanted to back up on, 11H. We went right past all these, expenditures, a lot of dollars,
Well, like we said, budget and finances looked at every one of them. So
which
we're
doesn't
good
mean
on those.
anything for my vote.
Yeah.
I still get a
You
vote.
ought to be at the budget and finance
I'm not gonna
meeting.
have to go to every one of them.
That's why they're there.
That's why we're here to talk to the caucus, so somebody can speak to these when you don't know.
And pick one out, which one?
They're all the same, basically, aren't they? What did they do? Didn't they increase the,
I think on the,
budget to,
I think on the.
health insurance in?
I think it was $100
Right.
per employee
Okay,
towards
that's what I
that.
understand.
And it was gonna be just until, they got approved for or got it worked out with the other insurance that they were going to go through.
I hadn't heard about that.
It was in that, I forgot the name right off the top of my head, but it was the insurance, company that they were gonna try and go through, but couldn't get it done in time, but they was gonna do $100 an employee towards their, health insurance.
And they're gonna take
For
it
the rest of the
away?
year, or what?
I know
Is
it,
that,
until this other gets started.
is that a one-time charge, or is this so much a month, 100, or what?
I think it's $100 a month, that's 50 a paycheck, 'cause I get paid bi-weekly.
I kinda thought that must be the case.
I didn't bring my paper in.
I was out of town at the last budget finance meeting, so I can't speak to
Well,
that.
I watched it, and what I understood it, I'm not on budget and finance, but it was, $100 a month.
$100 a month, yeah,
Is that what you
That's the
understood?
way I understood it
Yep.
from reading the
$100 a month.
stuff. Then we get back to, there's more information in this packet about bonuses. And I don't see that on the agenda.
That was a TM recommendation, so I'll let him talk about that.
Where is it? Is it the one, number one?
11H4. That what you're talking about?
11 what?
Is it 11H4 what you're talking about, Dwight?
I don't know where it is.
It doesn't say on that
On
on the
bonuses.
list. I don't see it.
I read
101,
the attachments, but I don't see on the
2024.
agenda
Yeah, you're right.
where the vote is.
Let's see.
Well, it doesn't have anything on here about bonuses.
Not on the agenda that I can find. But I read what
It
you're talking
doesn't, but I
about.
think every one of these line items is calling it that. Look on down.
Oh, I
Right
see
there.
That's
that.
what I'm asking.
Every one of them is that way.
So it's 463,907. Is that
No.
what I'm reading over here?
No, it's in different departments.
It's
I
in
know,
all
but
different
that's
departments.
the,
The
right
total.
there.
The
The total,
collective.
that's
I
the,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's the total.
I thought it was more than that.
They're recommending, to do $1,500 for full-time employees and $750 for part-time employees.
Well, I think they were gonna prorate that from last fall. The
I think
1,500
they already did
prorated.
it the first half. I think this must be the second half.
Right. So, it was,
And the last I remember, it was gonna be contingent on how does the revenue go?
Right. yeah,
And what, the next question is, how is it?
The revenue's up $1 million, so the money's there. I got the papers and brought it to the meeting.
That's what I thought.
And I recommend it because budget time last year, they agreed 4% the first year, 3 and 3 the following
For
2
some
years.
people.
Yeah,
Some people got.
with a $1,500 bonus if the money's there. And then, of course, it kind of died out and disappeared, and nobody wanted to talk about it, so I brought it up last meeting because,
So the four died. Each department got their own budgets. There was no one that I know of got less than four.
I don't know.
There were a number of departments that got well more than four.
But it looks like they're still gonna get the $1,500 bonus.
That's right. If that's what you vote on.
It
So
is.
all these are one-time bonuses for this pay period, right? $463,000 for all departments collectively.
That's what I understand.
That's the way I read it.
If you read it, it says bonus, other salaries and wages.
go for the assessor's office. So each, it's kind of broke down, I guess. And that's the total.
So this is actually mid-year. This is a mid-year thing, not,
I assume that's it.
right?
But it doesn't tell me just dollar amounts. It doesn't say that each person's getting $1,500. So I have no
Well-
clue. Say
I
the
don't think it
mayor's
can.
amount is 10,500 for how many people?
Does anybody,
3
like
or
in the county
2?
clerk's
It's not
office, do you know how many
1,500, is it?
employees are in there?
I don't at this time.
What about the county
It's
trustee?
3,500
We got 4
apiece.
people?
Huh?
Are there 4
Well-
people in the
Well,
county
the
trustee's
county
office?
mayor, the county
Didn't we
mayor
already-
would be the three, him, right?
Yeah.
Would he be included? And the
We-
two
we need
that
to
are in
question
there,
that.
Plus,
I don't know. I didn't think
the
about it.
girl
Nobody's doing
that
that.
cleans the building, I
Well,
think
we
she's
can tomorrow.
counted as his,
We need to
right?
be talking about
I
these
don't-
things
I don't
more,
know that
Mm-hmm.
elected official
instead of waiting till the
would get
last
the
minute,
bonus.
That's a good
stringing all this
point.
stuff and letting it just go right on by.
Do what, Laura?
I don't know that an elected official would get the bonus.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I mean, he already had a line item in his budget of,
I bet
of
you
that
are.
10,000 something dollars, did he not?
Right.
For salary, extra, other salary, whatever.
Additional,
For, yeah.
above budget,
Discretionary
Yeah,
spending.
and now we're gonna give him another 10.5?
that's what I'm asking.
I think,
Or is this the amount that's going in there, or is this the total after the bonus?
For each department, you can read.
Right, but I'm saying the bonus, is that the bonus, the actual amount of the bonus, or is that the total amount for that line item after the bonus is added?
It says bonus.
And it says bonus and
I
then,
think that means one-time shot.
Well, it says
This-
other salaries and
This
wages.
is the bonus,
This
and
right
this
here.
right here is your social security of the bonus, and that right there is the state, you add
how
all
many
them
are in
together, and it'll
accounts and
come up to that
budgets?
total at the
Wouldn't it
end.
be nice to have how many employees are in each department, so we.
That's what I'm asking.
Well,
Because I know there's a, like.
There's
you
no
said,
information
That's-
right here, and you're willing to
there's
vote
quite a
on
few in
That's
the
one of
these
the
kind of
things-
things.
That's one thing I know the legislative body has been trying to work on, haven't y'all? About getting that kind of information put into
Why
some
do we
kind of
keep
a
voting on
form.
things we don't know?
so vote no on it. I'd like to see details
Do we get
personally.
We wanna
information?
see details.
to see
don't
How
we?
many employees do you have, John?
In my office, 4, 5, including me.
4, that's $6,000. 4 times
So his is
1,500,
correct.
$6,000.
Yep,
His is correct.
his is correct. You got
The
6,000.
mayor, 10,5 divided by 1,500 is 7. And I know the codes department, those are his employees, 3 of them are. I think Larry's still
They're
considered with
down
the
here,
sheriff.
codes compliance.
Oh, it does have it 7,
There's
Yeah, it's
sorry,
separate.
I see
Yeah,
that. There's
$4,500.
$4,500.
There's th-
Well, still, the county mayor is, I'm pretty sure the girl that cleans, I
I think so.
think Rick Susie's under him.
Ain't that in the county buildings?
Well, no, it's his,
Or what, no,
I guess that's,
Well, I guess we need to ask.
okay.
Sheriff's Department, there's
When
a
I
bunch.
don't know, I
right?
vote no. That's my policy.
Wow, sheriff's
good policy.
department is
Give me the
76,000.
information, I'm gonna vote no.
The jail is 96,000.
So then it looks like that the amount there says bonus is actually the amount of the bonus for that department.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Just
You
It
can
doesn't
divide
show
by
how many.
1,500 and see how
Right.
many. Registered deeds, that don't divide by 1,500, but
I guess, do they have a part-time?
that might be,
Yeah,
that
'cause
might
that might, yeah,
explain it.
'cause that would be 70.
And again, that,
Yeah,
last that I heard, that was gonna be prorated from June, depending on how long you've been, if you've been hired since June, excuse me, 1st of July, it's gonna be prorated for how long you've been here.
was this in budget
I haven't heard-
finance?
I haven't heard that.
20
Had you not heard that?
They prorated the last bonus they did, so I don't know if that's still in for this one, but I know what he's
Okay,
talking
well,
about.
maybe I'm confusing it with something about
If you
they're doing
hadn't
with the
been there-
insurance.
If you hadn't been there longer than a year or 6 months or something.
6 months.
Yeah, then that's what they did.
John wants to speak.
John,
If you're not sure, could I suggest that you ask each department or each official to give you a head count?
Well,
so
that's
that-
what Roseanne was saying, is that we needed a number of how many employees are each group,
Okay,
like part-time and
Okay.
full-time.
good idea, Roseanne.
I'm gonna say all you gotta do is divide that total number by 1,500. And if it doesn't come out even, it's because they got a part-time position, you know how many's in each one. That's what it looks like to me. What else? We got 13 minutes.
Okay, so,
12A. 12A.
12,
Hey,
my phone says 13 minutes. Oh,
This-
12A, I'm sorry. Budget, finance, corrected, cancel, is that the one you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay. You got anything you want to say about it?
nothing to say.
Okay. All right, yeah.
It'll be in the minutes from the last meeting.
All right, all these reports are from committees. Has anybody got anything? Anything at all?
There was some of the information in here was about the ambulance service, asking for $4 more. Is that a vote on this agenda?
I don't know.
That was
Dennis,
last year.
on those minutes on the second page, down there, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth paragraph starts with Joey Hobbs. Made a motion to send this proposal to the legislative committee and, to be due tomorrow night. We've never seen anything about that. What, proposal was that? Do you remember?
You talking about the commission minutes,
For the,
November 14 meeting?
the Budget Finance Committee meeting,
Oh,
12A.
budget finance.
12A. Attachment 12A, page 2.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Lynn can probably answer that.
I wasn't at that meeting, but
No, you made the minutes, sir.
I did not make these minutes.
Page 2, it said Joey Hobbs made a motion to send this proposal to the legislative committee to amend the current resolution. And we haven't seen that yet in the legislative committee.
Resolution for what?
Yeah, that was my question.
It was supposed to be another sheet with correction, with additional. So there's a second sheet on these minutes where Mariana gave us some additional notes and corrections that have been attached to this.
Okay.
Questions, do I have that with me? I do not, they're at the house.
And also on that same page, up there at paragraph 3, it says the committee agreed unanimously that a resolution is needed to send to the legislative committee for a $2 fee proposed by Donna Tony. And we've not seen anything from anybody about that. So,
There'll be a lot of no votes tomorrow.
What's the, what
Should
page
be.
were you on that last one?
this is attachment 12A, and it's page 2,
Uh-huh,
and it's paragraph 3.
okay. Okay, thanks. Right here.
So if they don't come up, we haven't seen them yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, back to your original question about Joey Hobbs made a motion to send this legislative. Was that for the volunteer fire department funding, that resolution?
I have
That
no idea. That's why that's why I
Right,
made the
that's
question.
all I
Must
think
be what it is. Didn't we pass a resolution a couple years ago in the full commission on how to fund the fire departments for at least a year or two? We said
It's
we-
definitely been addressed, but they're changing the numbers here is what I'm thinking is going on.
I know
Well, there is nothing that has been sent to the legislative committee about that. Just heads up on that.
What he was proposing in the minutes was it was based on their criteria, their, I don't remember what they're called now, but the rating.
The ISO.
ISO, thank you. That's what he was proposing. I don't know whether that got adopted or not.
Well, I think what happened is that these fire departments went to Mariana to get their check, and there was no money in the budget for them. And then, every week, the HWR committee came back to trying to understand what happened to the allocation of funds, and that's why it's,
We allocated funds for the volunteer fire departments. I think this is a change.
there was, when they went to Mariana to get the check, she said there was no money in the budget for them. That was my understanding. Is that how you,
No, I wouldn't,
but that's why it's clarified here, I think.
it's in our budget from last year. There's money in the budget. that
Well,
was
that's what
passed.
we thought.
There is, there's no
Okay.
question about that. The only question now is
Well, they
whether
couldn't get a
there's
check.
more sorry, I hadn't caught up with, I didn't catch that item. I got back last week.
Joe Mike.
Yes.
So on that, the $2 for, that you, from Donna Tony, I remember when that, got recommended to go to so you're on legislative?
Yes, I'm-
So you're
I'm-
saying that nothing's come to you?
Nothing
Oh,
in any
okay.
forms, official forms, has
Okay.
come to our committee about
Okay.
that. And we need those to
Yeah,
act on.
absolutely.
Thank you, yes.
I just wanted to make
Yep.
sure that's what you were talking about.
That's my fault, I should have read the minutes and seen it and tried to post it. But we only saw these minutes last week.
The only
so-
time I remember
I understand the distraction, sir, no problem, no problem.
was when, some of them were foundry and they refused to pay them when they had came.
For what it's worth, I don't think
That
either
was
of
the
those
only
items
time I
are time
remember
critical.
them not getting
It just,
a
They
check.
did,
it just said to be for for tomorrow night, and I knew we couldn't do it without it,
Yeah.
so.
Other than that,
There wasn't any.
All right,
What else?
Here's the, thing we were talking about. The, minutes from the ambulance authority, November the 16th, whatever. When it's talking about the $4 an hour, it got approved, did it go through budget and finance, and did we go through the commission?
what attachment is that?
what's that 12
It's 12C,
12C?
L, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
looks like a C, it's L. The back, second page, the back side of the first page. You probably missed a lot, did you
Yeah,
see that?
I don't think that's happened yet.
I don't remember it.
There was an intention to do that, but it didn't look like anything was officially done. We need to get in front of budget and finance, but it didn't say, you know,
When was that meeting?
November 16th, I think, something like that, from the ambulance authority,
Yeah.
and I don't see anything that got past that.
We didn't meet in December until, we delayed our meeting from the first, last Tuesday.
January
So you didn't do
2.
it this month
We
either.
didn't do it this month, I don't think it got done that November.
As far as I know, it's not in the agenda.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure.
I got work to do.
I went through, it's not in the agenda for us to vote,
That's not what I see. That's what I'm saying.
because it hasn't been sent to budget finance, is what I heard. I've gathered. Has it been,
No.
that has not been to y'all yet?
No.
That's what I was
I
asking.
don't think so.
No.
It definitely wasn't there last week, I don't think they had time to get it in November, so I said, we did our December meeting first week of January.
What's the 6 o'clock meeting?
It's
Legislative.
legislative.
It's at 6 o'clock almost.
Is there another meeting besides the legislative?
No, I think it's
Okay.
it. You guys got any more questions on anything? Welcome, it says, welcome to Dave Kapka.
Yeah, I saw that
Who is
too.
that?
I
Is
don't,
that the grant
He's a
writer?
grant writer.
Oh,
okay, that's our grant writer,
I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't read it.
all right.
I guess there's an attachment 13A, right?
The back, I think there's a resume or something in there.
Okay.
I have a question on grant writing. Is there any way that we will know as commission what grants he's gonna be applying for?
He
Because
says
it's
he's gonna do reports.
beforehand, not after, right?
I don't know how he's gonna do it.
Well,
Some of them will have to be, because some of them have to be approved before they can submit them.
so we know what we're in it for, yeah.
Well, we don't accept anything. I mean, I know there's, any grant that's gonna require us to match has to be approved by us.
Or
Even
maybe
if it's
lasting
not a match, it has to be
repercussions.
approved.
Yeah. But what's your concern there?
Just, you know, you read and you hear about people that get a grant, a wonderful grant, and then afterwards, it's over and done, but then the county or whoever accepted the grant has to keep that kind of payroll or,
Yeah, so
you know.
that sort of thing has to come through.
Okay, good. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Lynn,
I guess we usually have one. in,
I was correct in saying that the insurance
We used to do
proposal
minutes
was
when
$100
it was
a
still
month.
on, but I'm
I
assuming.
think that's correct, yeah.
We
It
did
was
the
I
$100.
don't know
Yeah.
whether they care or not.
I didn't
That
bring
was the
my
amount
paper
that,
in.
that was the amount that covered everybody.
For a
so
motion to adjourn.
Depending on which
I'm
group
with
they were in, especially our largest group, that they would be covered where they wouldn't have any.
That's what okay. I didn't bring my paper in.
We done?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you. I'm gonna kill the live stream.
Okay, thank you.